going to start. These, if anyone needs these afterwards, and Todd, for you to be able to share these afterwards, they will be located on our website under our virtual adventures tab, and they will also be located in our YouTube, on our YouTube channel, Our Everest. We have a playlist of all of our past virtual adventures, and you will be able to see this one on this as soon as tomorrow. So to start this, could you please, Todd, kind of tell us a little bit about yourself, about Terrain Hopper, and kind of what led you to where you are today and starting all of this?
Sure. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak with you guys today. My name is Todd Lemay. I'm the president of Terrain Hopper, and I grew up in a small town in southern Maine, not that far from the beach, and being in a wheelchair, didn't really have a lot of opportunity to get on the beach, back in the, 70s, 80s, 90s. I ended up in 92 moving to Arizona to attend ASU. I graduated in 95 from ASU with an accounting degree, and went to work for one of the big accounting firms as an auditor. And I'm a pretty friendly person. And I like to be liked. I like to have fun. And, a lot of people don't like auditors. And so I decided after 7 years of being an auditor, I was going to get out of that business. And I started my own IT company back in 2000. And you did that for about 15 years and sold that in 2016. And was looking for something new to do. And so I had, previous to that, I had wanted to get out on the beach. I'd wanted to go on hiking adventures. And I didn't like what was available here in the United States for off-road chairs. And so I did a bunch of research, and I found the Terrain Hopper, which was being manufactured in the UK. And so I reached out to that company there. They were not shipping to the US for a number of reasons. And it took me about a year to convince them to let me buy one and have them ship it over here so I could use it, because I wanted to get out on the beach. I wanted to go spend time with my family and my nieces and nephews, and go on hiking trails and things like that. And so it took me a year to convince them. They shipped it here. And it was perfect. I mean, we went out on the beach, we went hiking, we went all these different places that I thought I could never go. And everywhere that I went, people would stop and take photos and videos, and they all had a story. Everyone knows somebody that has a mobility impairment, whether it's a friend or a relative. And so everyone, wanted to get information on where they could get these. Well, they weren't being sold in the United States. So I saw that as an opportunity. And so I contacted the company in the UK that was making them. And I said, we want to bring this to the United States. And so I purchased the rights to manufacture them here in the US. And so in 2017, we opened up a factory here in Tempe, Arizona, and started manufacturing them. And we ship all over the United States, and we're helping people, get out and do the things that they want to do, and spend quality time with their family, outdoors, which is, good for the mind and good for the body. And so, we're having fun with it. We're meeting a lot of amazing people, and we're, the most rewarding thing for us is every weekend we have customers sending us pictures and videos of them out doing stuff that they had never been able to do before, whether it's going on the beach or going on mountain bike trails or going to the top of a hill that they, weren't able to, to go to before, or whether it's just on their property, on farmland. There's all sorts of different things that people want to be able to do. So that's how I got to where, we are today with Terrain Hopper. We're excited to, be offering this here in the United States. And we're excited to be working with you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, we're so excited. We have gotten the chance to kind of be able to use some of them through Ability 360 and through Barrows with our Exploring Arizona hiking series. Um, and some questions that I have is, who is the terrain hopper really for, in terms of disability, physical disabilities? Who can use it? Who is it more geared towards? Is there certain other adapted equipment that you can buy for it that makes it geared for other populations?
Mhm.
And is it primarily purpose in terms of terrain with the wheels? Like, what can it go on? What can it go on? Have you seen any difficulties? Has it been better in certain terrain than others?
Those are great questions. The terrain hopper is designed for anyone with a mobility impairment. And so when you think of the different types of mobility impairment out there, you know, you've got individuals who are in wheelchairs, you've got people that use walkers, and then you've, you know, walkers or crutches, and then you've got people that, you know, they may not have a, you know, a visible mobility impairment, but they just might be older, or they might have a bad knee or a bad hip, and they can walk normally, but maybe they don't have the stamina or the ability to go on a 4-mile hike, or maybe the ability to walk a mile along the beach. And so we've designed our product to be used by, you know, almost anyone. You know, we have the handlebar controls, and then we also have joystick controls. And so individuals who are not able to use handlebars, they can use the joystick controls. We also have a number of different types of joysticks. We have a goalpost joystick. You know, we do have some people that are quadriplegic who are able to operate the joystick, you know, for the terrain hopper. We have one gentleman that we just set up probably a month ago, and he uses a chin control with his terrain hopper. And so we also have the ability to have an attendant drive it for them, so they can walk alongside, walk behind with a control and drive it. Or we even have a platform that the attendant can stand on the back and operate the joystick while actually riding on the back of the machine. And so it, you know, we custom build every machine. So we work with the individual to make sure that it's exactly what they need, so that they can drive it. You know, because everyone wants to drive it themselves. They want to be independent. And so that's what we strive for. And so as far as the capabilities go, it is extremely capable. You know, whether it's the softest beach sand, whether it's hiking, you know, steep hills, the terrain hoppers, you know, is rated to go up a 35-degree slope and down a 45-degree slope. We've actually driven them up and down stairs. And so you know, as far as, you know, going through beach sand, you know, we've been on the beach. We have videos on our website where we're going through, you know, 10, 15, 20 inches of water where the waves are crashing over, you know, our feet and things like that, which is always a lot of fun. You know, we have people who drive them through, you know, through a river, you know, into a small little riverbed where they can sit in the river and fly fish. And so there's a lot of different things. It's extremely capable machine. There's been times where we've been out on hikes, and the park rangers don't think that, you know, we're going to make it up this particular trail or up a particular hill, and it always makes it, and it always amazes them that we're able to get up there and you know, do those things. And so the terrain hopper has a lot of capabilities. Some people just want to use it just to go from, you know, point A to point B and you know, get out on the, you know, on the sidewalk, or, you know, go get groceries. Other people want to go hiking with their friends. So, you know, some people, they'll get the higher speed version and they'll go actually mountain biking with their friends. So their friends are on bikes and they're on the terrain hopper. And so, you know, it's different for each person, but it is an extremely capable and safe machine. And, you know, because it has 4 wheels, it's got a long wheelbase, and, you know, it is very, very stable.
You kind of mentioned that you brought this over from the UK. Bringing it over from the UK, what did you guys kind of did you guys have to make a lot of adaptations when you got it and you guys started selling them yourselves and really looking at them and if they're safe or whatever? Or were you able to basically get the rights from them and they were pretty ready to go from the UK? Was there a lot of changes that you made to the original design?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, it was pretty much, you know, ready to go, you know, from the UK, because they had been building them for quite a number of years and shipping them all over Europe. But you know, as we went, we worked with them to make some design improvements, to improve the steering, to add some additional options, and so one of the things that we've done, we tried to make it, you know, a little bit easier to steer. You know, make some of the mechanics a little bit easier. We upgraded the joystick system. You know, we worked with, you know, Curtis Wright in California, and so we have done a number of improvements which they have adopted over in the UK, and we've also added, you know, a bunch of options. So we have a trailer hitch receiver on the back. So if someone wants to hook up a little trailer on the back of the machine, they could load up all their camping equipment, hunting gear, you know, fishing equipment, and they can, you know, pull it, you know, to their favorite spot. We have people that will, you know, hook up camera equipment to it, so they can, you know, bring their tripods and their lenses and all that type of thing. I mentioned earlier about the little platform on the back, which can be fun if you've got kids or you've got nieces and nephews and they want to ride along. Everyone wants to ride along on the back, especially if they're a kid. We have a, you know, winch option for the front. We've got fishing pole holders. We've got, you know, rifle mounts and overhead roll bar. We got all sorts of different things. But for the most part, it was pretty much ready to go. We just, you know, made some, you know, some minor improvements for the user experience, and then added some additional options. And all those can be seen on our website. We actually just updated the website about a month ago, and there's a you know, large number of options now. We also have, one of our most recent options is we have a descent control button. And so if you are, you know, coming down a very steep hill, you can push this button and it will allow the machine to slowly go down the hill without you having to touch the throttle. All you have to do is concentrate on the steering. And then you know, it won't let you go over a certain speed, which is like 2 miles per hour. So, you know, it allows you to, you know, really concentrate on the steering part versus, you know, trying to, you know, also, you know, regulate your speed. And in a lot of off-road, you know, vehicles like Land Rovers and Jeeps and things like that, they do have a descent control option. So it's, you know, it's a common thing in some of the off-road vehicles.
Awesome.
That's a nice
Can
feature.
you, what was that?
That's a nice feature, having that. Just
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also a nice, because I was talking to someone that has like a mountain bike who has like that electric assist.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes with the throttle, if you hit it too much, it's very much the same thing when going downhill. It takes it way too fast, and they don't have as much control of the cycle as well.
Right. And you've described it perfectly, because when you're going down a hill and you're trying to, you know, you're holding onto the handlebars and then you've got your finger on the throttle. If you hit a bump, you know, you might squeeze the throttle a little bit more. Now you've sped up, or you might, you know, let off it a little bit. Now you've slowed down. So it's going to, you know, it could affect you, you know, your stability or whatever, because you're speeding up and slowing down when you really don't want to. And so having that descent control option really, really helps.
Can you talk about the different ways that someone can transfer, or the different ways that the mobility device makes it easy for someone to transfer in and out of it, or get transferred in and out of it?
Yeah, so you know, it has roll bars on each side, and each one of those bars will actually raise up, and that allows an individual to get in from either side or to get out from either side. And so we also have a rotating seat option. So if an individual would be easier for them to rotate the seat and then sit down and rotate it back in. That's an option for some people as well. We also have some of our clients that will get in with a Hoyer lift, and so that's an option for them as well. So, and we even built one machine that didn't have the sidebars on it, because the gentleman didn't particularly want them on there, but that's more of a an anomaly. We like to have the sidebars on for safety reasons, and so. And then we have some people that get lifted up. Someone will lift them up and put them in the machine as well.
Can you talk about costs of the terrain hopper? Sure. Adaptations? Is there any type of financing or grants that people can apply for to assist with costs?
Sure. Yes. So one of the things that we've tried to do is to try to keep the cost down. And as most people know, in the wheelchair industry, in the medical industry, everything is so expensive. And so one of the reasons why a lot of that stuff's expensive is you have dealers, and dealers, when they sell something, they want to make a 50% margin. And so in our efforts to keep the cost down, because we know that most insurance companies don't, they will not reimburse or pay for a terrain hopper or any other quote unquote recreational vehicle, because it's not a necessity like a wheelchair is. And so we've decided that we, for the most part, we don't have dealers, and so we try to keep the cost down that way. We do direct sales to our customers. So the starting price on the terrain hopper is about $17,995, and then it can go up from there depending on what options the customer needs. Like I mentioned before, if they want waterproofing, we have a number of different battery packages. We have overhead roll bar. We've got quite a number of the joystick option, that's an upgrade as well. So quite a number of options that people can choose from. I would say that the average sale price for terrain hopper would be probably about $22,000 to $24,000, something around there. Because people do have options. They want to customize it. They can choose from any of 1,000 colors. We can do camo patterns and things like that. But the most popular upgrades for the terrain hopper would be the waterproofing option. Is everyone gets waterproofing. And the second most popular upgrade would be an increased battery range. And so our battery range standard is about 6 to 8 miles on a charge, but you can upgrade the battery so you can get about 24, 25 miles on a charge. And so, and a lot of that depends on the type of terrain that you're going in, and the user weight and that type of thing.
Todd, how long is a charge typically?
So it takes depending on your battery package, it takes about 8 to 10 hours to charge the machine. And then depending on how you're using it, it could, and what battery package you have, it could take, 6 to 8 miles or all the way up to 24, 25 miles of use before you need to recharge it. And as far as financing goes, we do offer financing on our website through our partner at American One Credit Union. One of the things that we wanted to do is we wanted to partner with a bank or a credit union, and because a lot of customers, if they go and try to get a loan from their bank's going to say, what's a terrain hopper? What is this all about? And they're probably going to get a personal loan, which is maxed out at 2 years, and it's going to be a high interest rate because it's a personal loan. Well, with American One, they are financing them like they're ATVs. And so you can get a low interest loan, and it can be over a longer period of time, like 5 or 6 years. And so that helps keep the payment down. The other thing that we've had our customers do is do GoFundMe pages, do fundraisers with friends and family, and we do have from time to time some philanthropic individuals who will be willing to help fund a terrain hopper from time to time. Sarah earlier mentioned Ability 360 and Barrows, and we've had some success in getting those terrain hoppers either 100% funded by a donor, or most recently we've had some of our donors who are financing 50% of the cost of a terrain hopper. So we just delivered 2 terrain hoppers to United Cerebral Palsy in Wisconsin. They got an extended version, they got a standard version, and that was funded 50% by a donor and 50% by UCP. And and they're really cool looking terrain hoppers. They almost look like John Deere tractors. They're John Deere,
Oh, wow.
green and yellow, and so it's pretty cool. And so there's a number of different ways, and from time to time we have demo models that we are rotating out of our fleet. And so from time to time we'll send an email out and be offering those at sometimes 50% off. And so, but those are usually gone in 6 hours. And so, they tend to go pretty quick. So there's a number of different options. And in some states, insurance companies will cover them. We've had workers' comp, cover the terrain hopper before. And we've also had the VA also cover, terrain hoppers. And so there's a number of different avenues, a number of different, ways that one could, raise the money, for a terrain hopper.
Awesome. You mentioned a little bit earlier, like you see a lot of park rangers out on trails, and they always are kind of thinking that you're not going to make it up certain trails or whatnot. I have a question in terms of park rangers and the park systems. Have you had a lot of comeback or lashback in terms of certain trails which are deemed, historical, or no longer allow mountain bikes, or tired vehicles on the trails?
That's an amazing question. The terrain hopper is considered an OPDMD, which stands for Other Power Driven Mobility Device, and it has that classification under the U.S. Justice Department ADA rules. And as an OPDMD, it's allowed to go anywhere a pedestrian is allowed to walk. And so whether it's a hiking trail, whether it's a sidewalk, whether it's a state park, national park, and so now a lot of park rangers, they don't necessarily know about the terrain hopper because maybe they haven't seen it. And so when we sell a terrain hopper and we deliver it, it actually comes with a placard that they can hang or on the terrain hopper, or they can have in their pocket, that explains to if anyone that's asking what the terrain hopper is about, what rules it falls under. And so far we've had, and our clients have had, a very, very positive response. A lot of times we will get stopped by a park ranger to find out what it's all about, but for the most part, it's always, that thing is the coolest thing I've ever seen, and they want to take pictures and things like that. We were out at South Mountain Park about a year ago, and we had 3 terrain hoppers out there, and someone had called the park rangers and said there were ATVs on the mountain. And so they came out and they took pictures with us, and they thought they were really cool. The positive and the negative about the terrain hopper. The positive is that it doesn't look like a wheelchair. It looks like an ATV, and so you feel real good being in it. You don't feel like you're disabled or mobility challenged. That's also a negative in the fact that when people look at it, they think, okay, you're not disabled, you shouldn't be out here, that type of thing. So, but we've had very, very positive reactions. In fact, the day after we were out at South Mountain Park, we got a call from the head ranger, and they invited us to their ranger meeting the following month, and we went down and brought terrain hoppers and showed them all about it. So we've had individuals go to Yosemite, go to Yellowstone, and even in a snowstorm, And so it's really cool. And the more people that go out and the more parks they visit, the more education those people are going to get, and the more information, the better.
Right.
Todd, I know that, I don't know if it was the last time that we talked, but you were talking about meeting with the rangers up at the canyon, Grand Canyon. Has that progressed at all?
No, because of the COVID, we haven't
Yeah.
done anything with that, unfortunately. And so, because that was supposed to be in March, April timeframe. Well,
Right.
that came and went, and
Yeah.
so
Like everything else.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to do that. But the other thing that we talked about, Jerry, when we met, was the state parks here in Arizona.
Right.
And so one of the things that we are, actively trying to do is we would love the day when someone can pick any park, whether it's in Arizona or anywhere in the United States, and say, okay, I need a terrain hopper, and I'm going to go on this trail. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there Thursday at 9 a.m. or whatever. And I'm going to go and reserve a terrain hopper for a 2-hour period. And so we have been trying to work with the Arizona State Parks Department. As anything with the government, runs really slow. And so, but our goal is to have, a terrain hopper available at every park, everywhere, so that people that are mobility challenged, and again, going back to what I said earlier, a mobility challenge doesn't necessarily mean it's something that you can see. It could be an older person. It could be someone with a bad knee. We, back in October last year, my wife and I went to Sedona for our anniversary. And while we were there, we took the terrain hopper and we went, on one of the Red Rock hiking trails. And the look on people's faces, just at the entrance to the trail, there was all these people. Some people had, canes. Some people had, crutches. There was, one person in a wheelchair, and they could only go to the entrance and look at the map and kind of look at the rocks. They couldn't go out and actually do what we did. And their question was, where'd you get that? How do I get one? Type of thing. So to have those available for people to use and borrow would be amazing.
Well, it's like we talked, from an organization standpoint, that's our goal as well, to really help the community out. But then, reality sets in with liability and insurance and all that crap. So it's still our vision, to create that training spot. We feel that Telephone Pioneer, but then again, everything works very slow, getting people organized and the whole COVID thing set. But I still talk about that frequently, with people, planting that seed so we can all work together with that common goal.
Right.
Have a training site so a person can go through some type of a course and get certified that they can operate it independently.
Right.
Use it right now and it's great, but typically there's somebody that's walking beside them, and we really want it to be independent, like your vision, where they can have it at any park that they choose and do their thing. So that vision is not lost at all. I was just talking to Dawn Trapp, from Civitan this week, and she has her terrain hopper up at Camp Civitan, up in northern Arizona, and they absolutely love it. So it's getting out there. It's just a slow process,
Right. Yeah, and I remember we had that talk about getting people certified, and one of the things I just want to make sure that that's clear. The certification would be more for a liability type reason.
Just liability.
Right. Because the terrain hopper itself, it is a 30-second learn. It's so quick and easy to learn how to drive it. But you're right, from a liability standpoint, especially when you're dealing with states and governments and things like that. That might not be a bad idea.
Well, it's like one thing on our insurance policy. We're covered for doing all these different activities, But water is a really big thing with insurance companies because they're afraid of drowning and stuff like that. Well,
Mhm.
when we tell them that we take people kayaking, their first question is, do you provide training to them on how to kayak and how to be safe and so forth?
Right.
So that same thing, would be happening, with the train hopper if we have them use it independently.
Right.
And I would love to say, yeah, we do, and this is what we do, and then
Hmm.
they'll be okay with that as long as they go through some type of orientation as to where the brakes are, how to steer, and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
But you're
that
absolutely
brings
right.
up a really good point when it comes to training. Todd, when you said you typically give these out as personal mobility devices, people buy them for. So when they buy them, do you allow them when when they're picking them up, do you take them out on different terrains so that they can get used to them? I know working with Ability 360 with our Exploring Arizona hiking series, it takes a little bit for people to kind of get used to the steering and using the toggle stick going over certain things, or
Hmm.
maybe their toggle stick is different compared to the terrain hopper. So it just takes a while to kind of get used to everything. And then different terrain from sand to just like the rocky and bumpy stuff. When they buy them, do you have any type of area where you kind of go and take them? What is the typical process that you take them through when they buy something like this?
So that's a good question. So we have two different types of processes that we go through, depending on whether the customer is able to come to Arizona or whether they're not. And
Right.
so we have some people that come to our factory. We've had people fly in from Hawaii and fly in from the East Coast just to try the terrain hopper. And so we do have a track behind our facility that has steep hills and rocks and logs and stuff like that. The only thing we don't have, unless it's monsoon, is water. And so they're able to go back there. They're able to try the handlebars, try the joystick, go up over curbs and things like that. Now, about 85% of our customers, the first time they see a terrain hopper or even sit in a terrain hopper is when theirs arrives in the crate. And so we have a extremely large number of customers who,
Never
they don't
really
drive it
come
until they
in.
get theirs, right?
Okay.
And so because we have a very in-depth question and interview process when we're talking to them, and we take measurements, and we have them take measurements, and we want to make sure that everything is perfect for them. We also want to, almost everything on our terrain hopper is adjustable. The handlebars can be forward, back, up, down, joystick, everything is completely adjustable. So right now we have 100% client satisfaction rating for the entire United States. And so that really, says a lot about the process that we go through to make sure that they're getting what they need to be able to drive it. One of the other things that I wanted to mention too, when I thought of it when Jerry was speaking, is from a liability standpoint, we do have a button that we can install on the back of the machine, and it's called a kill switch. And so if you've got someone that is new, or someone that you're not quite sure if they've got the capability to safely drive the terrain hopper, someone can stand behind them or beside them with this little kill switch and walk with them. And if they're doing something, if they're that they shouldn't, they can hit this button and the machine will immediately stop. And so that's a nice extra security feature that we can add on any machine. Well, one of the things that I wanted to mention is this COVID-19 is actually, could be a little bit of a wake-up call for a lot of people when it comes to, being stuck at home and being unable to do things and go places. For years, people who are mobility challenged, they can't go to the parks, they can't go to the beach, they can't, do a lot of these things. And now everyone knows what that experience is. Everyone knows what it's like not to be accessing the parks because the parks are closed. everyone knows what it's like to not be able to go to the beach. And so, you know, a lot of people are, you know, upset about it and complaining about it because they haven't been able to do this stuff for a couple of months. Well, there's a whole group of millions of people out there that have never been able to do it, or they haven't been able to do it for years and years. And so I'm hoping that this is, you know, is a little bit of a wake up call for people to understand that, you know, this is something that a lot of people are dealing with all the time. And, you know, maybe you have a little bit, maybe some of these companies or, you know, some of these you know, government organizations would have some, you know, some additional funding available to get everyone out doing these things. Did we lose you, Jerry?
I was just on this webinar. I want to say it was on Tuesday. It was the arm of Joe Biden's for the ADA, you know, with disabilities, and
Right.
they talked specifically about that. You know, that what you were just talking about. I wish the voice was louder because everybody is really experiencing it right now. It's like Sarah, who's Sarah's Hostetler, who's on here, and Nora. You know, their world has really opened up as a result of COVID-19. And I know Nora specifically, she does not get out. You know, she's pretty much homebound, as Sarah is as well. But Nora has now been able to get online and participate with her blind and the associations, as well as she's doing a yoga Zoom activity. You know, so it's really opened up her world, and, you know, to be participative with that. So I think the voice it's starting to rumble. I just want to hear it really get loud, because you're absolutely right, is to really bring, you know, a face of what so many people have been going through for so many years. And now everybody is experiencing that. So it can only help. You know, we just have to keep making sure that, you know, we continue to be that voice to make it be heard. Very interesting. So Nora and Sarah, do you guys have any questions for Todd?
Yeah, I have a question. You have when you use the rail bars and handlebars, you still steer it and you turn to your right or left?
Yes. When you're using the handlebars, the throttle is on the handlebar, so you use the throttle with your finger, and then use the handlebars to steer left and right.
Oh, that's good. Thank you.
Yep. And if you're unable to use the handlebars, you can use a joystick, and that'll do everything, just like a normal power chair.
Great, thank you.
Sarah, have you been on a hike with one of the terrain hoppers?
No, I haven't had the chance to use one, but I'm sure that the terrain hoppers are perfect for paraplegics too.
Yeah, I think both of you guys should sign up for the next hike we do. We don't have it on the books yet, but, you know, our Discover Arizona, the Adaptive Hiking Series, you know, we usually have 3 or 4 terrain hoppers at each event. So you can give it a try. I think it would be really kind of cool.
Yeah,
Super.
I would like to give it a try.
Anything else, Todd, that you'd like to add? You did a remarkable job.
Not that I can think of. You know, I think that, you know, if you check out our website at terrainhopperusa.com, there are a ton of videos out there and lots of information. The videos are great because, you know, we try to show the terrain hopper in almost every kind of environment that someone might want to take it in, whether it's on a hike in the desert, whether it's through a snowstorm where there's 10 inches of snow on the ground, whether it's, you know, driving on the beach. There's so many different things that we try to portray on there, which I think, you know, we do a really good job of showing all that in the videos. And I think that's why, you know, 85% of our customers feel comfortable buying one without ever seeing it, because they know from the videos that it's, you know, it's going to be capable to do those things. And so I would encourage you to check those things out. We also have on our webpage I believe it's under the Overlander 4ZS page. There's a video on there. It's about an 8-minute video, and it shows everything that you'd want to know about the terrain hopper. Our friend Christina did a great job of helping us, film kind of a video manual, if you like, of how everything works, every button, every port, and all that stuff. And so that can give you a lot of information. And we also have a video online that shows what it's like when you receive the terrain hopper in your crate, and how to uncrate it, and the kind of a first drive. And one of our customers put that video together for us and did a great job.
So Todd, one question, we talked about this on the financing. Have you had any success with any local organizations or national for funding? For partial funding, for individuals? I know Sarah, she just received funding for her wheelchair through the K2 Foundation. Have you spoken with them, or do they know about you?
I have not spoken with K2 at all. It'd probably be worth, getting on a call with them, and maybe if you have some introductions you could make, that would be great.
I will do that. I'll open the door for you with them. So they're an organization. They have this wonderful travel agency. They're kind of like Daring Adventures, but on steroids. So when they go hiking, they'll go hiking Machu Picchu, Everest, all of this for all abilities. And they do all these wonderful things. So when they go there, they usually have some type of a volunteer activity, whether it's at an orphanage, doing some painting or whatnot. Well, then it's that group that they attract to come to their annual gala and different events to raise funds for their nonprofit side. It's the K2 Foundation. And the foundation supports organizations and individuals, with devices, equipment, needs, for individual disabilities. So it's really kind of a cool operation, how they have it set up. And, Christine, one of the founders, she does a remarkable job, but I'll send that email to open the door, because I think it might be a great fit for both of you guys to get connected as well.
Yeah, that would be great. And one of the things that, some of the donors that we've been able to work with, historically, they have provided the funds for organizations to buy, terrain hopper, but connecting with an organization that can help provide the funds for an individual would be amazing.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, it was nice meeting you both, Jerry. It was good seeing you. And
yeah, good seeing you. Stay safe, Todd, and we'll be in touch, huh?
Definitely. Thank you very much.
Welcome.